Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever for the second installment of a drunk cast. Yes, indeed, I am inebriated. I promise I'm not becoming an alcoholic. I'm only getting drunk when I go to hang out with people. I'm a social drinker. Don't judge me in the comment. Jesus, this is great to a great. This is off to a great start. Now, before we get into introducing our players, I would like to point out the channel membership, as you can get access to these videos just a little bit earlier. And during the last drunk cast, we had a little bit bad of a like to dislike ratio, so if that continues, maybe we'll put the series on hiatus. But if you like this video, sincerely, please do like it and consider subscribing as we get into introducing our players with Team 1, as always, on the top side of the map, and Team 2 on the bottom side. Let's go ahead and start introducing west to east. Yet again, it is on Selkie, as the last cast was, and it's a blue Aeon going first land by the name of Fractal. Then we can move on to the east. We have a dark blue Aeon going first land, and his name is Willow. It's me, everybody. Willow's Duality in the flesh and blood, having a grand old time as he sets up his base. And then we have ourselves a purple Seraphim. I almost said UEF. Going first land by the name of the Gray Eminence, and he is emanating in a gray fashion. And then last but not least, for Team 1, we have a Cyan UEF going first land. His name is, of course, Melon Pippin Collie. Melon Pippin Collie. Melatonin. I'm sleepy. Also, this is the first air factory. I don't know if I said first land or first air, but you know what? Fuck it, I'm drunk. Then we have a yellow UEF going first land by the name of Papa Kababa. And he is rocking this western position as we move on to the orange Cybern going first land by the name of Hexed. And he is definitely hexing you under the spell of his Cybern communism. Then we can move on to the red UEF going first land. His name is Fairy DL. Keep the fairy on the down low, as he is gone first land factory and second air, and he is walking towards the water. Then we have ourselves, last but certainly not least, for the entire game, his faction, of course, is UEF, and his name, of course, is Ad Lordy, and he is going for a naval factory now. I think he started, first land. We have a T1 bomber out from Fairy down low. His Fairy is definitely low. It is not high. He has a very grounded Fairy. It is not high in any way, and it is a Scorcher that will be doing beautiful, beautiful things. Just like all of you beautiful people. Wait, fuck, did I fuck up my intro? Did my intro say hello there, you beautiful people? Fuck! If it didn't. Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow. And this bomber, what is he doing? He's looking for some. Ooh, there's an engineer right there. That could be dangerous. Dangerous. And it's gonna kill off an engineer. That's a very good prize for a T1 bomber. And it's gonna continue its reign of terror. God, water tastes so good. Dude, you don't appreciate the taste of water until you're dehydrated. And I'm probably dehydrated. Does alcohol dehydrate you? Oh man, I don't know. Another T1 bomber going down. Holy shit, this has huge ramifications. There's an interceptor, but it's just too slow. Oh, it's getting juked. Fancy feast. No, it's fancy feast. Feet. Oh god, I'm drooling. Okay, screw this T1 bomber. Let's look at the map. Of course, the map is Selkie. We have a lot of reclaim right here. We have a lot of reclaim everywhere. Willow over here with a... Wow, that's a lot of It's 5 minutes? How has it been 5 minutes? Where does the time go? I'm about to beat the shit out of a clock, because I don't know where the time went, but it's been 5 minutes into this game. And let's check on the economies. The economies are, so very important. Papa Kababa leading the pack at 35 mass a second, then 31 mass a second for Fractal, and Grey Eminence Hexed at 31. Melon Pippin Colony at 27. This is moving too fast for my drunken eyes to detect. My drunk vision is failing me. It really is. It's quite the opposite of who has vision as a superpower? I guess Superman has supervision. He can see through shit. He's so great. Although, can we all just agree that either Batman or Spider-Man are the best superheroes? Like, objectively. Come on. If you like any superhero more than Batman or Spider-Man, you're lying. Spider-Man is so fucking cool, dude. Oh, shit. Tony Stark, you know what? Iron Man is also an acceptable answer, but other than those three, you're just an idiot. Because those three are, like, pretty much normal human beings. I guess Spider-Man has some powers, but he's mostly just a normal teenager kid, 20-something kid. It's not a teenager. But he's mostly just a kid who's just, like, acrobatic as fuck. Iron Man is pretty cool because he's, like, an inventor. All of his power is from his mind. And Batman is just rich. And you know what? That is one hell of a superpower. We have some fighting going on. It seems as though an air unit was shot down. Was that the bomber out from Fairy DL? I think it was, because that's a Scorcher wreck. And you know what? Y'all are beautiful. I really appreciate that you all support me. Y'all are so great. You're so great. I should really stop touching the microphone because there's a much higher chance that I unplug it other than doing something any worthwhile. Sorry if you heard a squeak right there. I can't fix that in post when I'm sober. You're just gonna have to deal with a squeak. I'm sorry. But you all are oh so beautiful. And you know what else is beautiful? Forge Alliance Forever. And we don't really have much going on, so let's go ahead and speed it up, because, you know, drunk me will totally catch everything going on. I'm seeing triple right now. I'm way more drunk than the first cast. I've had a lot more. But that's okay. We have some T1 submarines now out from Duality, and he is currently just trying to be harassing up towards our hero, Melon Pippin Kali, and he is doing his damned best to stop the submarines. There's also a fair number of Zooies coming out from the Grey Eminence, and he's sending them to the Middle Island, but the Middle Island has a relatively decent kind of opposition on it currently between both Fairy DL and Hexed. There's quite a heavy play going on for this Middle Island. Willow has sent his comm over here to the middle. What a stupid play. He's so bad at the video game. And that's a lot of T2 production coming out from Willow. Could be a little bit dangerous to the other side, but of course, it's nothing that is unmanageable. Now, we have quite the navy gathering over here for Papa Kababa and Hexed. That could be quite useful in dealing with Fractal, who only really has a few submarines. I think there's more submarines than there are submarines for Papa Kababa, but if he does attack, this could lead to a situation where Fractal loses his factories, which could be pretty dangerous. Let's go ahead and check in on the economies once again. Papa Kababa still in the lead at 64. Then we have Fractal, Hexed, Willow's Duality, and Grey Eminence all trading positions somewhere around 60 minutes a second. And then we have Duality, Pippin, and Fairy DL below them. What the hell did I do? Okay, there we go. Everything is good. T1 Bomber getting shot down over here. That's very unfortunate. Oh, God. I'm not gonna touch the keyboard because the keyboard is scary. And the buttons I press can do a lot of things. We have some T2 units now out over from Willow's Duality showing up on the eastern side, but it's just flak and shields. Those aren't particularly useful. It's a lot of flak and shields. Those aren't particularly useful in a direct combat engagement, but over here we have the comm of Willow's Duality and a few blazes over here to stop the aggression out from Hext, but Hext has decided to fall back, and we have the comm of Fairy DL trying to grab more of this reclaim in the middle. The reclaim in the middle, not quite as important as it is on other maps, but of course can lead to some great things if you use it properly. It's the word I'm gonna use. And we have a very large navy over here, combined force of Hext and Papa Kababa, starting to move forward, and it seems as though Fractal is just going to be unable to compete with this force. Maybe Willow should send some stuff to try and help out with this major assault coming out from the two southern players. Of course, Fractal using a lot of T1 units to try and raid over here. A T2 mech's now under threat by T1 units. And there's just nothing over here to stop it. There's just not nearly enough over here to stop the aggression coming out from Fractal. God, I need to learn how English evades me, much like land defense evades Papa Kababa, as he echoes but does not quite worry about the Aurora threat that is now threatening to kill off all of his economy. He loses a couple of T2 mexes, which is quite the unfortunate event. And now, with the Asylums and Blazes showing up to try and help defend against Papa Kababa and, of course, Hext, there will be some recompense. There will be a hold out from Willow's Duality and Fractal. But, of course, Hext and Papa Kababa starting to make some great strides. Factories going down now for Fractal, and that's going to be a huge blow to the Blue Aeon. Of course, there are two here, so it's very confusing. But to Fractal, and he's going to be losing a few of these naval factories, these frigates out from the heathen that is Hext, playing Seraphim. Not, he's playing Cybern. Fuck. The only heathen in this game is the Grey Eminence. How dare you? How dare you pick Seraphim? That's not okay. It is 100% wrong. As he goes for T3 land, or T3 air. I think wait, is he going for T3 air or is he going for Nathas? He's building, what the fuck is this? It's a Natha. God, that's so annoying. Stop gyrating above my camera. That is a Notha. It's not an aircraft, an ASF. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hext is, I believe, going for T3 air. Yes, he is going for T3 air, and he is going to achieve that in a matter of moments. He is very close to achieving his grand goal of reaching T3 air and building those glorious ASF and strategic bombardés. Is this in any way entertaining? I can't imagine that it is. I am so fucked up. You all are beautiful. Why would you watch this? Is so bad. I don't understand. I feel so privileged to have so many people willing to watch like these fat videos. It's so amazing. I want it to grow. I want it to be more, but I sometimes struggle with it as T2 units and labs out over here for Willow's Duality may struggle with killing these strikers, but they will prevail, and maybe that's how this channel is. It's a struggle, but it will, of course, prevail. But maybe it's just a struggle that will go out with a whimper. Of course, that is for the audience to decide. And I hope you all enjoy this content, and I'll try and make sure that the drunk casts aren't the majority of content. I feel I've been slacking on you all recently, but of course, That is... I'm getting too philosophical. I need to talk about things. You all are so fucking beautiful. Oh god. That was a bad idea. I took a big hit from my vape, and that was a horrible idea. No, my throat hurts. Whew. So, we still have a constant flow of Aurora coming down here, but of course now there are a couple of triads set up to really defend against this area, and these Aurora are going to get diminishing value with each one that goes forward, really starting to form... what are these buttons? Really starting to form quite the reclaim field over here. Willow has taken over the defense over here on the western side and really trying to grab some breathing room for Fractal. Setting up a decent amount of hover spam. And how many destroyers is that in the Willow fleet? Only 3, so quite the low number of destroyers, but I believe that Hexed only sitting on 1, Papa Kababa sitting on 3 Coopers, and 1 Valiant. So that is going to mean that Willow has a decent chance of holding here. Not necessarily going to have a good chance of pushing forward, but a lot of hover spam now coming out from Willow's Duality. And over here to the east, Melon Pippin killed off by a array of destroyers. I wasn't even really paying attention. I'm going to miss a lot over here. The base gifted over to Willow's Duality, as of course it's 4v4 full share. And he gifts it over to Grey Eminence, not deciding he can handle both fronts at the same time. And continuing to try and put pressure over here to the west. Let's go ahead and check in on the economies. 265 now for the Grey Eminence, as he now has 2 bases. Willow's Duality at 172, 115 for Hexed, Fractal at 199 for, or 199 for Adlordi, and then Papa Kababa and Faradiel sitting at 74, and Melon Pippin Kali, of course, really dead. He's definitely passed on to the other side, if you catch my drift. Oh god. I am really busy. Okay. We have multiple naval battles taking place, so... Well, that's the wrong button. Let's go ahead and get just like a cinematic view. Ooh, I hit the wrong button. Let's go ahead and get a cinematic view of these 2 naval engagements. Can that go away? No, it can't. Of course it can't. So, a bit of a naval battle happening over here, and then a very similar naval battle happening over here. We'll go ahead and turn the icons back on. And it seems as though both sides are reaching a bit of a stalemate at the moment, although it seems as though the Grey Eminence is a little bit light on the land. A lot of engineers for Willow's Duality trying to get some reclaim are going to die in their efforts over here on the eastern side. But on the western side, it seems as though Hexed has pushed back Willow's Duality and has gained himself a bit of an advantage in this pond. We'll go ahead and hit end and go back to singular cam. Oh god. Whew. Man, you all can't see what I did. I just like shifted in my chair and I am winded from that. A few hover units out from Willow's Duality showing up to try and stop the land spam out from Hexed from pushing forward into the area, mainly controlled by the Grey Eminence. The Grey Eminence has a lot on his plate, and he's starting to lose quite a bit to the Riptides over here out from Adlordi. He's gaining a lot of value over here, killing off a T2 Air HQ and about to be working on a T2 Land HQ out from the Grey Eminence. A lot of problems now emerging for Team 1. Team 1 having a lot of struggles, but Team 1 massively ahead economically. I think that's mostly thanks to Grey Eminence and Willow's Duality being on such strong economies, nearly both of them breaking 200 and the first players to break 200 mass a second. Willow's Duality over here to the west is currently fighting his way against both Papa Kababa and Hexed. And I think this is a bit of a bad fight being taken here by Willow's Duality. He's probably going to have to fall back pretty soon. Does have a decent number of destroyers, but doesn't quite have enough to just roll over this western side. Fractal starting to produce a bunch of Vespers, and I am so sorry. I'm missing so much. I'm missing so much. But I'm so incredibly fucked up. Over here to the east, though, the Gray Eminence is collapsing under the pressure of Adlordy and Fairy DL. And it is starting to show as they're about to be pushing in towards the production line of Willow's Duality. It's quite a spread out production line out from Willow's Duality, trying to mitigate any damage that can be done. But of course, a lot of damage still could be done by these forces out from Adlordy and Fairy DL. So gonna have to keep an eye on that, whereas Willow is the main force over here in the west, keeping back both Papa Kababa and Hexed. And this could be very, very dangerous for Team 1 in the short-term future. They have a lot more mass a second, but they are slowly losing the lead that they have in mass per second. It's getting closer and closer, and they are losing territory at a very, very quick pace, and it could be very, very dangerous very soon for the northern team, whereas the southern team doing very well for themselves. Do we have anything spicy going on? I don't see anything, but then again, I am seeing 2 of everything, so that means I shouldn't miss anything, right? Wrong. Because when you see 2 of everything, you can't trust your eyeballs. And the Gray Eminence has built an experimental. He's built himself a chicken, a yathota, and that will be used in... I don't know how that'll be used. We'll have to try and keep an eye on it, but I only got 2 eyeballs, and there's a lot more than 2 things going on at any given time. A bunch of Vespers over here to the west trying to shut down the economy, or not the economy, the Navy. The Navy of Hex. And it's going about as well as you could probably expect. He's going to be focusing down some destroyers, but he's going to lose some Vespers. Vesper is not necessarily cost-effective against destroyers. Willow forced to recede, to fall back from this western flank to deal with the eastern flank. Has a lot of units now showing up. That's a lot of destroyers. How many destroyers does Willow have over here in this area? Let's just do this to find out. 12 destroyers in the immediate area, and he's going to start cleaning up this kind of force out over here from Fairy DL and Adlordy. There's really not that many destroyers. There's a lot of cruisers in the mix and some Cooper torpedo boots. I'm apparently Canadian now. Oh, that's a torpedo boot. But Willow cleans up that force in record time and is... Oh god, I've been casting at +2 speed. That is... God, that's why this was so difficult. That makes sense. Willow really cleans up that force and starts to push down southwards, and there's not really much here to defend out from Team 2. Team 1 doing very well right now. Willow doing a lot with his naval and hover forces. Of course, Gray Eminence has lost a ton to those hover forces and to the cruisers out from Fairy DL, but these cruisers are going to be shut down as soon as enough Nathas and torpedo bombers are out onto the field. 1 cruiser goes down, another one about to go down. It's at 3 vets, so it's going to take quite a little bit of damage, having 3,250 HP, but that is, of course, not an unassailable amount of HP. And now, currently, Willow leading the pack economically, having quite a good game for himself. And I know, I am such a horrible caster, casting a game where I play well. But of course, either side could still win it. There's an economic advantage for Team 2. So Team 2 is really in a strong position. They just need to come up with a solution to this Navy and hover spam out from Willow. and then they can really take this game by the horns and really lead it into a victory for them. They're still in a strong position. Willow is starting to push in towards the base of Adlordy. And if he manages to do it, and God, I am sleepy. Oh God, I don't know why you all are still watching. If you're still watching at the 25-minute and 50-second mark, leave a comment down below, because you are a true fan. You are really beautiful. I'm really trying to avoid touching the mic, because if I touch it, it'll make a weird noise, and I don't want to fuck up the audio for you. A Fractal has killed Papa Kababa using a bunch of Nathas. How did he get so many Nathas? And Strat Bombers, Shockers. Shockers are quite good. The Shocker is going to be killed off, but that base going over towards Fairy DL. But Fairy DL is in quite the pickle, if you would excuse my really boomer language to describe a bad situation. That's a lot of destroyers. How many destroyers are in this force? We're looking at 13 destroyers and 45 blazes. This is a very scary situation indeed for the Southern team. Team 2 is in a very hard position, but they have such a great economy. I'm just wondering where that economy is going. That's a lot of destroyers, of course, coming down from Hex, but he's in a lot of danger now, as Willow's Duality's destroyers are starting to come close, dangerously close to the commander of Hex. If they focus down this commander, it could be huge. Hex, one of the higher rated players, over on to Team 2. And the destroyers are going to start firing shells into that T3 Naval HQ, and they're going to kill it very, very quickly. Now Hex under great threat. You can see his HP falling massively with each second. Is Hex going to be able to survive? He's going to have to run all the way to land, but he stops running, and the destroyers up from Willow's Duality may be able to pick themselves up a kill onto Hex, and Hex goes down. And Willow has managed to deal a killing blow onto one of the players of Team 2. Now the responsibility is going to land over onto Fairy DL, whose base is in shambles from a bunch of blazes out from Willow's Duality, who are starting to kill off the base of Fairy DL. And a lot of units are pouring down south out from this blue base, but a huge attack is now happening. That's a control K out of Fairy DL. I'm not gonna count this off. I'm not gonna count that against me for him giving up. The last commander for Team 2 is over here in the water, a pretty safe position. And overall, Willow's Duality under a huge amount of threat. That's a lot of Coopers and Valiants out over here for Adlordy now. He's under attack by some blazes, but as soon as these blazes are cleaned up, the Asylum taking a lot of shots for the blazes. Also some torpedo bombers out from Willow's Duality, going to be killing off some of these Valiants. If he can continue to use these naval units to kind of ward off the army and navy of Willow's Duality, could be very, very beneficial. All of the destroyers have been killed off. Strategic launch detected, and that's out from Grey Eminence, who has been relatively quiet this game. You know what? Maybe he has. I don't know. I should stop trying to do my regular casting thing. I am so fucked up. Oh God. Why? Why do you all want this? You all asked for more of these. Why? How is it entertaining? Okay, well this nuke is gonna be really pretty. Okay, well here we go. Thumbnail time, everybody. Thumbnail time. Kaboom! The Seraphim explosion is actually quite underwhelming. Maybe not thumbnail time. May have to come in when I'm sober. Yes, thumbnail. Am I even speaking English? What the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, hey. Down to the south, that chicken that I was talking about. Oh my god, I completely didn't check the chicken. The chicken has waged a war of terror. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. Has just absolutely destroyed this southern area. And now a bunch of blazes up from Willow's Duality coming over to clean up the job, but the chicken doing the heavy lifting as it heads over towards the middle island, taking a few shots from these destroyers. But the destroyers out from the UEF, the torpedoes are not that threatening. It's the Coopers you gotta worry about. And this chicken out from the Gray Eminence is going to be threatening this entire middle island. There's not really all that much economy built up here, just some C2 Maxes out for Duality, but it's not gonna be enough. That's a scout wave going over. Do they see where the commander is? No, they don't. Back. Duality under immense pressure right now to hold off Willow's Duality, Fractal, and the Gray Eminence all at once. Willow's Duality leading the economic charts for Team 1, whereas Duality, of course, slightly above just Willow. But overall, Team 1 hugely ahead, nearly doubling the economy of Team 2. So right now, Team 1 in a very strong position as a Tsar is on the way for Willow's Duality. A very interesting match indeed. Maybe it wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I love you guys. You all are so amazing. But also, fuck you. Join the channel membership. Join the channel membership. Fuck you. Pay me. But that out of the way. We have a whole wave of torpedo bombers. Now, coming out from Willow's Duality, what are they targeting, I wonder? We will have to see as these torpedo bombers make their way over towards the comm. And maybe something else of Duality. I'm not sure what these are targeted onto, to be completely honest. I'm too drunk to remember this match, but they are targeted onto something, and this seems like a snipe. Maybe Duality will die here, but he also has a nuclear submarine halfway loaded. Maybe that's the target, and the nuclear submarine goes down to half HP. Duality takes some damage himself and starts moving immediately. Really good reaction time on the comm of Duality. The nuclear submarine is going to die. Duality will live this engagement. At least live for a moment as he makes his way onto land. And Duality still fighting against the impossible odds of being at half of the economy and probably half the units, but he does have a huge force of Salems and Valiants and cruisers and torpedo boats now coming up north over here, and Willow just doesn't really have the Navy to respond to this. That's a lot of Vespas now being used to try and counter the UEF Navy. The UEF Navy traditionally quite weak to submarines, as the Cooper is not something that's built quite as heavily as the Valiant, and the Valiant very weak against submarines. Let's go ahead and speed this up just a little bit as these Vespas start to make their way towards the production over here to the east of Duality. And this huge navy is continuing to bear down onto the position of now Fractal and Willow's Duality. God. Whew. I can't breathe! A Tsar has been completed for Willow's Duality, and it seems to be heading towards the navy of Duality, as well as a wave of torpedo bombers towards the comm of Duality. Duality is now under a lot of threat from both the Vespas and the torpedo bombers. Will he be able to survive? He's trying to run for land. Will he be able to get out in time? I think that's a Solace flying by. Let's go ahead and turn the health point bars back on. Add Lordy down to a dangerously low HP bar, and he dies. And with that, Team 1 is victorious. I'm sorry if this cast was absolute shit. Not ship. Shit. Ow. Fuck. I hurt my finger on my desk. Ah! Y'all are beautiful. Thank you to the Patreons. Join the channel membership if you want to access this horrible content earlier. You all are amazing. I'll see you in the next video. This is Willow, signing off.